So it seems like early on, you guys doubled down on customer
Totally.
experience and customer
Hmm.
support. See, what I noticed today is there are a lot of brands that didn't always double down in that way. And now they're having to really shift like, wait a second, like our customers are way smarter. They are making the velocity by which they move in and out of their loyalty to us is so quick. And so I'm seeing larger kind of titans of industry try to shift, but wait, we got to go back to double down on customer experience. We have to go back to the customer. We have to fall in love with that again. A brand like Sweetwater, who really, in my opinion, looks like they stayed the course the whole time. So when the world changes, i.e., the last couple years, and when technology arrives, e-com and internet, and it's like you're still very uniquely positioned to win as a brand because you're doubling down on the customer.
Doubling down on the customer and in a really cool organic way with these 600 sales engineers who can take that customer from possibly just something that feels like a mere transaction and get engaged with them on a one-to-one level. So we have always made approximately 3-to-1 outbound calls to inbound calls. So very proactive from the
Wow.
get-go. Now, and back in the old days, we were just finding customers. Nowadays they do show up a little bit more to the website and they buy things, but we're going to call them and get them into a conversation. And it turns out, like, even in this new generation of people who barely know that the thing they carry in their pocket is an actual telephone, and they don't want to maybe interact with that thing as a telephone very much, like oftentimes we find when we get them on the phone, and now here's this guitar player talking to another musician or guitar player, and they're just vibing on the whole passion of it. And this person really is truly trying to help them and has a lot of expertise to be able to do that. And so they can look forward to those phone calls, and it's really exciting for them. And oh, guess what? In this world where the third-party cookies and everything that's kind of drying up as a technology, just imagine the first-party data that we have from these individual one-to-one phone calls where the salesperson like literally knows the name of your dog because you willingly gave it to them because you have a great relationship with this person and you trust them. And just think about the implications of that out into how we are trusted by our customers and so forth, and what all that means. Not to mention the data they can collect.
How do you do it at scale? How do you build a team of, you said, several hundred sales engineers that are really passionate about the space? And on paper, that sounds great. And at scale, how do you cultivate this across a sales org and do it so well at scale?
That, in many ways, is one of our key moats, if you want to think about it that way. Like, we feel pretty secure into the future because we know how hard it is to do from the journey, literally decades of just gradually growing that team in a very organic way, being very selective about who we hire, people who already have a bit of a pedigree or a background. And then we put this, plug this 13 weeks of training in, and then that's not the end. They keep doing training, literally 90 minutes to 2 or 3 hours every single week of training on new products, and really do bring a lot of expertise to the table, and just one sales engineer at a time. We call them sales engineers. And I think a lot of that goes back to something that Chuck, the founder, said a number of years ago. It turns out it's very profound. He said, I don't really want to grow any faster than stacking one great customer experience on top of another. So we didn't try to do it overnight. We did it organically as we could, and we always grew. We've only ever had 1 year in our history where we didn't grow, which was 2008. Understand?
Wow.
Yeah. So literally every other year we grow.
Yeah.
2008 was like minus 3%. I can't remember. Growing at the speed at which we can stack those great experiences up for customers via these fantastic, highly trained sales engineers. That is the magic, but that is not magic that you could turn around and recreate in a year. Like, it took decades.
Right.
And, knowing what we know now, I'm sure we could do it faster. It's still, you got to find the right people, get them in the right mindset.
Huge. I mean, I love that. It reminds me of a conversation I had with Steve Robinson, is a former CMO for Chick-fil-A, randomly, and to kind of peel back the layers of why Chick-fil-A was able to be so successful. And it was like this key through line, just very similar, to Sweetwater, around not having to explosively grow. And I mean, they could have gone a lot of different directions. It was like, how do we make sure every interaction that someone has with our brand is incredible? And how do we take care of our individual, like our store managers, et cetera? And they never deviated. And so what looked like opposite thing of what other fast food chains would do, they did the opposite. They did a 180 on so many things. Now they'll cross 20 billion, a year in top line. But you just see this in a brand like yourself where you just stick to these like table stakes of like taking care of the customer again and creating a culture where people are so passionate about what they're doing, you can make a huge impact at scale. So I see the similarity between the two brands in totally different industries, but look at what's possible, As a
30-year career, being able to put my head on the pillow every night and know that we're doing it the right way and that we really are taking care of customers. Of course, things go wrong sometimes, but our heart and spirit is into it. And we love the space that we're in. We're musicians and engineers, and we truly, really are as passionate about it as our customers, and therefore it resonates back and forth. It's a really great recipe.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. This segment is brought to you by Salesforce. Salesforce brings marketing and engagement together. If you want to learn more, head over to salesforce.com/marketing. And please subscribe to this channel for more marketing insights from the world's best marketing leaders across the Fortune 500 and beyond.